this on?
Yep.
Yeah. Hi everybody, welcome to the Comedy Festival 2011. We are at the opening show, which is Cody Hughes'. Unfortunately, Cody Hughes' last show. But thank you all for coming out and paying tribute to a UNC legend in one of his probably final shows for the rest of his life, because I can't imagine he'll be able to do comedy outside of Carolina. Anyway, thank you all so much. We have a really great lineup of current and former UNC comedy team members. Cody's going to be doing a full set for the first time, so it's going to be a great time tonight. Please help me welcome to the stage our first opener, Rainey.
How's everybody doing tonight? I'll just take a seat in the school if you want. Well, since I'm opening up tonight, might as well open up on a very relevant topic. Because I'm excited right now. I'm high on life, and I'm also high on markers, so I'm doing really good. But no, that's huffing. If anybody doesn't know, it's getting high off markers and glue. And I think as a drug, compared to the other drugs, huffing is like a really big joke, because it's not really serious. Like, it's really just like weird people like sniffing glue and like the stuff they blow in keyboards, which, even though it's considered a drug, it's a natural thing to do. Like, if you open up a marker and it has such a strong smell, you're gonna naturally smell it. So like, to me, I don't think it's a problem at all, but the problem is, like, I'm not a licensed professional, so my opinion doesn't count for anything, and people who are licensed professionals think it's a problem. And this really, this idea really came to head one day when I was getting a physical for a job I was applying for in the summer recently, and the doctor I had, who was foreign, and I don't want to assume anything, but it's safe to assume he was from a country in Africa. But we were talking, and he got to the part of the physical where it's like, do you do any type of drugs? And I just like to keep things like comfortable. So of course, naturally, I said sometimes I huff every here and there. But him being 6'8" and hovering over me, the communication breakdown, he didn't think that was funny at all. And I can see in his face, he wasn't laughing at my joke. So immediately I was like, no, I don't do drugs. Which I thought was good, but in retrospect was even worse, because he even thinks he's more suspicious. If you ask somebody on the street, like, if you ask me, like, hey, Kyle, do you do crack? And I said, sometimes, no. You still think he's a crackhead. Let's not trust him. And so obviously there's that. And the worst part of the whole thing, the job I was applying for was a teaching assistant for elementary school, which is just a gold mine for glue and markers. So this whole time he's sitting here, he's like, this drug addict is trying, just as it was safe for me to assume he was from Africa, it was safe for him to assume I was like a lying drug addict who was trying to get this job to get high on markers, because I possibly couldn't buy markers from a grocery store or anything like that. So naturally, I did not get the job. Ironically, one of the guys they ended up hiring was older. It turned out to be a pedophile, so hindsight. Don't like child molestation jokes. Speaking of drugs, how about the guy in Morrison who got robbed? Like, I mean, I know as a student drug dealer, like, he doesn't have to deal with all the responsibilities of the real life world, but he's not that entitled. Like, even as a drug dealer at college, you're going to get robbed at some point. And the problem is, I don't know if you know the details, he was selling drugs to one guy named Ace, which is a red flag in my book. And then he went downstairs to let let Ace in. There was two other guys, but like, obviously as a drug dealer, logic is like, common sense is just shot, because he's like, you know what? These two guys seem pretty safe, I'll let them in. And then he got robbed at gunpoint. But the second worst thing about it is that when he called the cops, they found even more weed, and they charged him with the intent of selling drugs. And my thing is, if that's me, I'm just making shit up. Like, you know what? That's actually not my weed. Those guys planted it. Yeah, I may have dreadlocks, I may have Bob Marley posters, but that's not my weed, officer. Obviously set up. Anybody here tonight on a date? Yeah. I mean, that's why we can have doing such intimate nights for you guys. That's why we have the lamps and a stool. That's how I do it in my house. Dates. I don't have a girlfriend, but I like to go on first dates. I just like the experience of going on first dates. And the other week, I decided to actually do a little research to bone up on first date tips, and I stumbled across this article from Cosmopolitan, because that's what I usually do. I stumbled across an article that was like, guys' first date fears. And after reading the article, I gotta say it was written by a woman, and I'm not trying to make a knock against women journalists, but this was like a fucking stupid article. The reason is like the one thing at the top is like his fear is like he's afraid your personality won't be what he thought it was, which I think is complete bullshit, because that's like not what I'm thinking of. My only fear going into a date is like, I hope she doesn't have a dick. Like that is my one fear. Like I can put up with the whole personality being crazy because at least she's a female in that situation. If she has a dick, that's like a complete game changer. It's like the movie Crying Game. It's like, and the time you always find out when someone has a dick is when they're about to have sex with them. So you're like, roll down, you're like, oh my gosh, he's got a penis. It's like, no sir, bad. I feel it would just be bad. I feel it would be bad if like you waited a long time to have sex and it's like the honeymoon and you figure that out. That must be really awkward. It wanted, yeah, that's been my time. You guys are great.